better.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Implied Project. I am Tony Martinez with my co-host Jamie Gaynor,
Hello.
who's having audio issues.
Yep, I am. There we go. Okay.
But we're excited to have our featured guest today, Cody, Renee, Cameron.
Yay.
Hey, Cody, how are you?
Hi, good. Glad to be here.
Good. You are easily one of the most dynamic people I know on Instagram.
Thank you. Flattered.
Yeah. Have you seen her Instagram?
I checked it out earlier today. Yes.
Yeah. You're just out there. I mean, like, you're out there in a good way. I mean,
yeah, I try not to be boring. You know, that's one complaint I never get, that I'm boring.
Yeah, that you're not. So for those of you that don't know, Cody is an actress, model, stunt person, just an overall badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, in case this happens during the show, Jamie's actually having audio issues.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be able to hear her, but
we're good for now. We'll see.
Yeah,
how
we're
it
good
goes.
for now.
Just trying to get this set up. I'm afraid to touch anything. So there we go. I'm just trying to get it set up so that I don't. Okay. There we are.
There we go. All right. So Cody, tell us. You're out in California, obviously.
Yes.
Whereabouts exactly, and like what brought you there?
So I live in beautiful, grungy Hollywood, California, and I'm originally from Southern Illinois. And I just knew I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. And this girl that I really looked up to as a mentor told me that I should be in LA. And so I packed up everything in my car and I drove out here like 9 years ago.
Who was that?
Her name is Eunice. And she was a couple years older than me. We met when I was in college. She was actually, I think, like my landlord. And then we ended up like partying together. And then we ended up like becoming friends. And I think she's originally from LA. And she just knew everything. Like, I'd never really been out of my small town before. And so I'd never traveled. Like, I didn't know. I knew I wanted to be in a big city, but it could have been Miami, New York, Vegas, or LA. Like, I didn't know the difference between any of those, if that knew how green I am. And so imagine if I would have ended up in Miami trying to be an actor, I would like for sure be a hooker now. So thank God we chose LA.
A decent second choice. A
profession that probably does not feel the recession coming, you know? So
may have boosted it.
Yeah.
That's true. So when you got out there, what did you have? Like, were you wanting to get in the modeling first, the acting, or all of it at once?
So I had done a little bit of modeling. I'd worked at Hooters while I was in college, and I actually got scouted to represent the University of Illinois in Playboy's College Girls, or Playboy Student Bodies. Yeah. It's when the guy asked me, he's like, "Hey, I work for Playboy." He was like one of my customers, and I was like, "Sure, dude."
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
I've seen this story before.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being legit. And so when I ended up moving out here a year later, I had the Playboy name at least, which was really helpful because I didn't know anybody. So I just kind of coach surfed and stayed with people that I met at bars, and I booked jobs on Craigslist and Model Mayhem. It was like a very shady, weird, interesting time of my life.
You know what? Hooters is a great platform, though. That's a great like catapulting platform. I know a ton of couple girls that were in Georgia, but like the people that have like started from there and then built from like the Hooters calendar and all that stuff. So that's a pretty decent start.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a pageant, so I was like Miss Hooters grew up one year or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
funny. So then you got there, you didn't know anybody, I'm assuming?
I didn't know anybody. I had just kind of posted. I also I didn't really plan to move here immediately, but I was dating this guy and we got in a fight and I was just like, fuck it. And I was like, I'm going. So I typed in LA to my GPS and just drove out here in 2 days. So I had no game plan. But I just knew that I just had to take the deep dive. So yeah, I did like modeling gigs, a lot of, again, like, they're called GWCs, so just booking jobs on Craigslist with guys with cameras. Who knows where those photos are or like if they ever went anywhere. And yeah, 2 years in, I started taking acting classes, and that's when I started to get really serious about my coach had to like whip me into shape, you know, because I was just like drinking and partying all the time and exploring LA because again, I had never really done anything cool before. And so, yeah, it took me 2 years to get started to dive into the acting thing. And then, yeah, from there, agents, managers. And then I was dating a guy who got a motorcycle, and I rode on the back for 2 weeks. And then I was like, I want a motorcycle. Like, I don't just want to ride on the back. So I got a motorcycle, and then that's when I started getting into the stunt work.
How do we keep getting people that are like so much like me on this show? I wonder.
I was gonna say,
how do we keep doing that?
Chick.
I do. I have no business driving one. I did that years back, and I should just be a passenger. But I appreciate it. I thought it was very empowering, and I enjoyed it. I'm just not safe enough. So, but I appreciate that you are.
Did you have a sport bike or a cruiser?
I had a street bike, and that was where the problem was. It was the wrong bike for me. I need something I can sit in. Those are way too dangerous, the street bikes. So
yeah,
I just want to sit on the back of one.
Yeah.
I
just test rode the new Harley Livewire. It's a Harley's new electric bike, and they are silent little ninjas. They're so fast. You're like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's insane.
I was too young and reckless. I was doing stupid stuff on that. I didn't need that.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel you.
That's funny. I'm actually trying to find some of your videos of you on your bike.
Yeah, there's one of me in a thong bikini.
While we're doing that.
Helmet.
So dead serious. I mean, outside of the photos that you've taken, did you I used to ride around like in a bathing suit and like maybe like cut off shorts. Like I was really doing too much is what I was doing when I was riding on that. It wasn't like, I mean, when I'm on there now, I wear like the gear, like the legitimate gear. But when I have my own bike, I was like, no, I think you ride these in bathing suits. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, there's definitely the element of like loving the attention in the beginning. Like I had to bring my helmet everywhere with me, and
that's awesome.
This is in Griffith Park. We had so many problems with like people trailing behind us. Like if people got in front of us, they'd like move to the side so they could ride behind me. It was so funny.
Yeah, see, I was bouncing around like that when I was driving.
As you should. You're a pretty girl. I mean, and why not?
Come on.
Yeah, I can just see the whole trail of cars behind you, just following you. If it was me, I'd be like, "Where is this girl going?" I just start following you.
Yeah, I actually want to do a ton more stuff like that. It's so hard because LA, the traffic is so crazy, and like even that shoot, it was so hot. My bike was so hot, and I was so sweaty, and that helmet is starting to see in. And I mean, it is I get a lot of hate when I ride and stuff like that because people are like, oh, I hope you enjoy your skin while you have it, and I'm like, yeah man, but you can get hurt doing anything. So.
Yep.
Yeah. How hardcore is your stunt work on the bike? I mean, do you actually do any acrobatic stuff, or do you not daredevil stuff, or is it mainly just being like an extra in scenes and stuff?
It's mostly just doubling for girls. So a lot of girls lie on their resume and say they can ride bikes, and they get on set and they're like, oh shit, this girl can't. And so they'll call me and have me ride the bike, for the girl.
Gotcha.
I've done a lot of stuff with like passengers, which doesn't sound that crazy, but I'm so little. I'm 5'2", I weigh 95 pounds. And so then when you I did a scene with Jake Busey, actually. He was like this like gang lord or whatever. And so and I have a Harley, so it's not meant to go in the dirt, but they, directors don't know that. And they're like, oh, we're gonna have you ride the dirt cave with a guy blindfolded and tied up on the back of your bike. You're kidnapping him and you're gonna bring him to like the gang lord. And I'm like, how? Like it's physically not very possible, but
nope.
We can try it. You're fucking down. I just might eat shit. We did it slowly and not safely, but it turned out fine. But
it's not easy to ride with someone on the back when you're little.
Yeah. Whole completely changes the whole makeup of the bike. Like braking is completely different, and turning, and especially if that person isn't experienced. And you get on set and people are always lying to try to get the job, and you're just like, bro, you don't even know.
No.
But it is mostly just doubling for girls. A lot of like stuff zooming in and out of traffic. I did a show with Thunder Levin, who did Sharknado. It was called Geodisasters. And so these like teen girls are trying to escape, and they beat up these bikers. I love these storylines. They beat up these bikers and steal their sport bikes, and so I was doubling for them. So I'm in pajamas and like shoes that don't fit me, because of course they don't have doubles for anything, and then like doubles of the outfits, and then I've got a girl behind me who's 5 foot tall but like heavier than me, and I'm trying to ride through traffic, and they haven't like, there's no police escort, they're just trying to like guerrilla film it all, and so you're just
gosh,
it was just so funny, and I have blood all over me, and so people are like, "Are you okay?" out the window, and I'm like, "We're
shooting a movie."
But
That's funny. What did you ever have to deal like the whole casting couch scene when you first came out there?
I mean, I've definitely had a lot of producers will say things like, "Hey, come over. I want to talk to you about this project, or I want you to read something for me." And then
At
you get
my house, yeah,
exactly at my like place in the hills, and then there's like cocaine laying out, and there's like, "Have a drink, relax." I mean, that happens a lot. It still happens, you know. Like,
oh yeah, I bet. I'm sure that happens to you, Jamie, right?
No.
What?
It's so boring in Pittsburgh. No,
Oh,
there's none of that. I've never
there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think LA would be different. I think that this would not count. I think in Pittsburgh, since I've been in this business for such a long time, it's such a small market that no one would even try me. I really don't think they would. I feel like I'm outspoken enough that people are like, no, maybe she's not the right person to do that too. I feel like they know.
Right.
They wouldn't know that in LA though. I mean, they'd just be like everyone else. But this is such a small city. Everyone knows everyone. I think everyone knows I'd roast the shit out of them publicly if they did that.
Yeah. Who is the creepiest guy that you've ever dealt with? You don't have to say names, but like what happened?
Right. Really early on, there was a producer that worked on like one of the Hangover movies, because I remember he would like name drop that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of one of those things where he's like, "Come meet me at this bar at like 9 p.m. We'll have drinks and talk about your career." Well, when you're so young and dumb and you're just so eager for anything that now, unless somebody's asking me to meet them for coffee at 4 p.m., like I'm not going, you know, I'm not going to the bar for drinks. But I remember like, you know, being all timid and shy, and he's trying to like put his hand on my leg, and I'm trying to like be nice about it. He walked out, and he like pushed me up against like the SUV or whatever, and tried to like put his tongue down my throat. And I was like, "Oh, I like not to give you the wrong idea. Like I am not interested." And he's like, "Then you'll never work in this town." And I was like, "What?"
See ya.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
I'm very lucky on that too. I don't feel like I've had hardly any weird experiences. I mean, mine wouldn't even be with an insider in this business. I was working. Do either of you remember the website OMP, One Model Place?
Mm-hmm.
That was way back when. So I did an event with an old manager of mine and friend Kevin, and then a bunch of models, and we stayed at the Hard Rock, but it was for OMP. And there were like 6 of us. And there was a guy that came into our VIP section at one point, and he was just flirty. He was like a normal guy, no big deal. And I don't remember the scenario. I was young and dumb. And I think he put his number in my phone, and I didn't see that coming. And then like, he wouldn't leave me alone though. He like followed me around for the whole rest of the trip. And that's like the creepiest thing that ever happened to me. And that wasn't even like a photographer or anyone in this business. I don't know. That was the worst thing that ever happened. Maybe I'm honestly just too mean. I don't know. Maybe I'm scary.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that. I know, like, well, anyway, well, I still have it in my head. All right, so Cody, you mentioned one thing I'm curious about, because I've actually been following you for a while now. I know I've featured you on Implied a few times over the past year or two. You actually kind of disappeared for a bit, if I'm not mistaken, or it just wasn't coming up on my screen until you tagged a few. Anyway, the point being, I remember you mentioned an ex or somebody, and then like I haven't seen that person on your stuff again. Well, I guess what I'm trying to get to, and I'm like totally rambling, is what's it like for you? I'm assuming you're single, right? Or you are actually in a relationship?
No, I have a boyfriend.
Oh, okay. So what's the whole dynamic with him? With you doing all the modeling and acting and all stuff? Is he cool with that, or?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for always featuring me. Now I tag you and you always like repost my stuff, and I like appreciate that so much.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I love Implied magazine. But yeah, we've been together for 6 years actually, and he's awesome. He works in the entertainment industry too, so he gets it. And since like the whole COVID quarantine shutdown thing happened, he actually learned how to like pick up a camera, and he takes a lot of my like sexy photos now.
See, that's relationship goals right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So he's super supportive, and you know, I started an OnlyFans when everything shut down as well, and he helps me like create a bunch of content for that, and he loves it, and it's so cute. Like he's out of town right now, and he'll be like, if I Venmo you $20, can I get like a dirty photo? And I'm like, yep, yeah, you can.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, Jamie, who takes your photos?
I either take them myself, or I have a photographer friend who will remain nameless because he does other types of work, and he does that for me as a favor, essentially. He just enjoys doing it for myself and another girl who has OnlyFans, but that's like not his niche at all. He does like way other types of photography stuff that doesn't really coincide with that. So really just him. I mean, I literally dream of having a partner taking my photos. Like, I feel like whenever I start dating someone and they're really threatened by that, I'm like, this could be you and me together. Doesn't have to be like, they're so threatened because they think other people are involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some kind of threat there. And I'm like, no, you could literally be taking these photos. Like,
yeah, well, it'd be kind of a way of screening the guys that you date by testing them with that.
We'll see. Yeah. But I would love to share that with my partner. That's ideal.
Yeah, we're definitely super lucky. And, you know, I preach about this sometimes, like on social media, but I don't really like believe in monogamy or marriage. I feel like they're kind of constructs created by society to control us. And, you know, some people want to be monogamous, and that's totally cool. But I just feel like, especially living in LA and in the industry that we work in, we both do entertainment and nightlife. It's like Candyland out here, man. And so I just think, like, for us, our commitment is to happiness and what makes you happy. Instead of what society says. We're like, oh, you have to be monogamous. You can't talk to other guys after midnight or whatever it is, you know, whatever those weird rules are. But yeah, and so that keeps everything fresh and fun and sexy and happy. And yeah.
I respect that. I mean, if your person is your person and they come home at the end of the night and you have your guidelines and your rules set up or whatever you're comfortable with and everyone's good with it, then
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot of monogamous happy marriages, to be honest with you. So
exactly, and that's where I'm like, I've never seen, like, my parents got divorced; they were miserable. Everybody I know that's monogamous is miserable, but everybody I know in some sort of polyamorous or open relationship, those are the happy couples. You know, and it's not like what everybody thinks. It doesn't mean you're out like you're around all the time, every time, but it just means that, you know, maybe 6 months you are monogamous, but then you find a third, or you find somebody at work that's flirty and fun, or you never know what the exact years are, but it just keeps everything like funky and fresh and inspiring and cool and creative. And
Well, it reminds me of during my comedy days, because I used to do improv comedy, and we had our own club for about 4 years, but we had a contingent of fans that would come like every other week or so, and they were swingers, you know. And when we became friends with them, it was basically because the wife of one of the doctors like totally attacked me in the hallway after a show, and that's we actually ended up becoming really good friends. I never did anything with them, but they were so cool to hang out with. I'd go to barbecues. Well, it wasn't just me; it was like the whole troupe, and we would go hang out with these people. And what was amazing was that they were just like the coolest people to hang out with, because they were so open and they would communicate and just fun. And I remember, in fact, I'll give you a great example. There was one particular show that we did, and it was a birthday of one of the couples wives, and the whole group came. It was about maybe 30 or 40 people total, like it was like 24 couples, and they pretty much took up like one chunk of the club, and then the other half was over here. And it was amazing. Like, I didn't even say anything to the other guys in the show. It was like right after the show, you could tell the difference. This side, the swinger side, they were all like lovey-dovey, and not in a, you know, like overly inappropriate way. They were just, you could tell they were very affectionate and having fun. And over on this side, they were all kind of like just sitting like this. I mean, they were having fun too, but it wasn't like arm and like kissing and, that stuff. It was like, it wasn't just me. Like, all the guys noticed it. It was like, did y'all get that vibe? And of course, some of the guys didn't know, because I remember we had 2 new guys at the time, and we were kind of snickering like, well, they're they know each other, but yeah, anyway, good to play. Yeah,
then it's just free. People. It's free flowing. It's so much easier.
Yeah. Plus, I always say, like, I mean, my partner's so awesome. It would be like super selfish of me to just like take him off the market and keep him to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
It's very generous of you.
Yeah.
When is it? Wait, I have a question. My same question. I need to know when your birthday is.
My birthday? December 2nd, Sagittarius.
I freaking knew it. I wish I had said it before you said it. No one else in the Zodiac would pick up their shit and drive to LA like you did and then describe a relationship like this. Damn, I wish I would have said it first. All right. I'll have to just like pretend like I didn't think that, but
right.
All right. Please continue.
Yeah. So I take it you guys have this kind of open relationship. I mean, that's pretty much what you're describing.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
That you guys have an open relationship.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it's a little more closed than other times, and whatever. He's been gone for like a month right now. He's up north filming, and I hate to think after long hours that he has to just go home and sit in his hotel room by himself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, go out with the boys and party, and I don't know, go to a strip club, like bring a girl back to your hotel. I don't care. Like, I'm not threatened at all, Mm-hmm. So I'd rather him like have fun. I don't know, like when I try to close myself off to opportunities, it makes me unhappy. Mm-hmm. And so just knowing, like, going out that like the world is your oyster, that everything is at your fingertips. Like, I just think that's a really empowering way to live your life.
But bottom line, it's because he's going to be there regardless.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. I have like no question, like his undying love for me.
That's great.
I wish more people understood it. It's hard for people to. They're like, well, what do you mean if he's with somebody else and he doesn't have an undying love for you? And I am a monogamous person, but I understand the dynamic. Well, I'm not a monogamous person. I'm literally single and have no one. But I have only been in monogamous relationships. But I understand the dynamic. The happiest couples I know are open. And they're probably, they're open because they do know that the person comes back. They could have 1,000 other things that tempt them, but that makes them appreciate their person that much more. When someone comes back after that, doesn't that prove something? I don't know. Some people don't get it. I do get it though. I think it's beautiful.
Well, it's definitely a matter of, like I said, the communication, because it was amazing. I was obviously wasn't part of their couple thing because I wasn't dating anybody at the time, but just the fact that you could talk to them about anything, mm-hmm. They didn't have any qualms about talking whatever, and just the fact that they had that freedom, it didn't mean that they didn't have guidelines. And I don't want to say rules; it was guidelines. Like, okay, so that it wasn't just random. Hey, let's go. I'm going to pick up this person and They definitely had guidelines, but every couple was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They were good people. So anyway, as far as back to the acting, you mentioned that you were surprised to find out that a project that you started ended up being something having to do with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, right?
Yes. Sorry, it's breaking up just a little bit, but you said Breaking Bad. That
you started on a project not knowing that Aaron was part of it, and
I knew I was auditioning for something to do with Vince Gilligan. They had kind of just said that it was like a side project that he was doing, and so to me, when people say side project, I think like, oh, YouTube, which isn't. I know people make a ton of money and are really invested in YouTube, but me personally, like, I do TV and film, and so I'm like, oh, YouTube, like, okay, cool, whatever. And like, honestly, kind of blew it off a little bit. I mean, I try to give 110% to everything I go to, but there's a lot of things happening all the time. So I'm like, whatever, this thing doesn't really matter that much, which probably is what helped get the role.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then booked it, and I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, you're going to Albuquerque for a week, and my manager never hinted at anything either. And then, like the day I landed in Albuquerque, it leaked that they were filming a Breaking Bad movie. And so my manager like sends me the article, and he's like, holy shit, you're doing the Breaking Bad movie. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, I can't even wrap my head around this. And then I was with them there for a week, and Aaron was the sweetest. Everybody was so nice. It was just like a really great team to work with, especially coming from working a lot of like ultra low budget indie films and doing a lot of roles that are like, you know, take your top off or get covered in blood. And sometimes you don't get a lot of like respect on set. And this was like the most professional, legit thing that I had ever done. And then, yeah, so then I went to the premiere and I was all excited, and then my part comes on and then it's gone. And I was like, wait. I was like, no, there was so much more. Like, where did it all go? And a lot of it ended up on the editing room floor and got cut.
That sucks.
It was, yeah, kind of heartbreaking because I really thought that was going to be like a big break for me. And I did get a lot of publicity from it, like, you know, some great red carpet shots and stuff, and something small for my reel, but it definitely didn't have the impact I had hoped that it would have.
What kind of role did you have?
I was like the main prostitute. So there are like no female characters in this movie. And then all of a sudden there's 3 prostitutes, and then there's a vacuum cleaner lady, and then like one other lady. But I mean, very little female involvement. And so I forget who had told me, but they're like, oh, somebody was like, you're basically the main female character because there are no other females. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And yeah, so like I'm just like the lead prostitute. I don't know if you've seen it, but we like get out of this car, go like party it up with the 2 bad guys, or like the bad guy group. And there's like this whole scene that happens in the warehouse while Aaron's like hanging out outside. Well, what happened was they just see Aaron peek in the warehouse, and they cut to us walking back out, and you just assume everything that happened in there. But really, we shot a bunch of stuff that happened in there.
Man.
So, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's show business, right?
When was that?
I would say probably 3 years ago.
Oh, it's been a while. Okay.
Yeah. 2 years.
So what have you been working on recently? What have you been working on recently?
Ooh, it cut out.
Again? What have you done recently?
Am I working on?
Yeah.
So I actually have a lot of really fun things in the works right now. There's a movie called Girl Lost, a Hollywood Story. Girl Lost, a Hollywood Story. Yeah. That will be out on Amazon Prime next month.
Nice. I'm going to watch it.
Yes, please. It's my first lead in a drama. Really intense, emotional story about sex trafficking. And it's actually all the girls that were in it. It's like something that's really close to our hearts because we all moved to LA to pursue entertainment. And the story is about a girl who moves to LA to be a model and an actress, and then gets sex trafficked. I mean, that's the whole thing. And you hear 4 different girls, and you kind of hear a little bit of each of their stories. And man, we had like a very COVID safe premiere on Sunday. So only like 10 people could come, and they had a little theater. And I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't seen any of it. And so I'm like sitting in the front next to another girl's mom because she didn't want to sit by her mom. It was so funny. She's so young. And there were some very like intense parts. So she's like, I want to sit by my mom. You sit by my mom. And I was like, okay. But I'm like grabbing her hand and like crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how this is a lot. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited for that to come out. I'm promoting the shit out of that once we have a date. They said like the first week of December, but we don't have and it'll be on Amazon Prime, on Tubi, on all those sites.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. And then, on the flip side of that, I actually just found out I will be Miss February in Playboy Australia's 2021 calendar.
My God.
So yeah, I got a little bit of the movie stuff, a little bit of the drama stuff, or modeling stuff. So
nice.
Yes, and then also there is a rockumentary coming out It's about a band and kind of their story, and I play one of the bandmates' girlfriends, and he's been a friend for a long time, and it's just like really fun to film, and it's all around Hollywood, and you get to see like insights to the music industry while also like, I don't know, it's kind of like Spinal Tap. Got some Spinal Tap vibes, so that we're shopping that around right now too. So lots of fun things, you know, comedy, drama, like all over the place.
Nice. You have all kinds of stuff coming up. That's awesome. Good for you.
You're gonna have to let us know so that way we can help share it when it comes out.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate that.
That'll work. Let's check out some of your photos.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if you can tell us anything. Okay, this one's just from a couple days ago.
Yes. So that's actually where I made the announcement to Instagram about the Playboy Australia thing. My friend, weekend cowboy photographer, took that. He lives in Chatsworth. He also has horses, so we always like shoot with his horses, which is really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then that is the dress that I wore to the Breaking Bad premiere. That dress was like $20 on Fashion Nova.
A steal. And then this is which movie is this? Son of an Angel.
Yeah, we just shot that teaser last week. That's gonna be really fun. Me and a couple of my guy friends went and rode motorcycles up to help like create the gang for the bikers, but it was based on a true story. This guy's dad was a Hell's Angel, and so it's kind of the story of growing up as the son of a Hell's Angel and like getting involved and everything. It's gonna be really cool.
Awesome.
That's good. This is one of my favorite pictures of you, actually.
Me too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I love anytime I'm shooting with my bike, I feel like those are the best photos because I really light up, because that is something that I'm like super passionate about. You know, sometimes as a model or, you know, whatever, you're always shooting in like bikinis and lingerie and you're by the pool. And so anytime I can be with my bike, I'm just like, I love that.
Right. So were you always comfortable in front of the camera, or did you have to grow into it?
I always loved entertaining people, but I was like a super ugly duckling. So, yeah. Okay. This is for this movie called Companion. Yeah, that's kind of like these zombie ghost creatures. It's like kind of like Walking Dead meets Us.
Okay.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah, this stuff makes me really nervous. Riding with girls who are also skimpily clad.
Yes.
But
I have secondhand nervousness.
But the viewers love it. That's my girlfriend here. I love her. We actually just did a lingerie try-on haul, which you can find on her YouTube. I think it's called like Dare Wears. And I think it already has like 80,000 views. It's been posted for like 2 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, people love these like lingerie try-on hauls. It's like the new thing that all the like.
Wait, I want to do that. Can we message about that later? I have no idea. I mean, I know what a clothing haul is, but a lingerie haul, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
For those that don't know, what's a lingerie haul?
Oh wait.
What?
There we go.
I was saying, what's a lingerie haul?
Oh, so like people do like these clothing try-on hauls where you just like, here's me in this outfit, and then you talk about the outfit, and then you like snap, and now you have a new outfit on. It's like this new trendy thing that's big on YouTube.
Oh, I gotcha.
I needed a lingerie.
Yeah,
lingerie haul for sure. So do you just order a bunch, or does the company like want to? Do they send it to you? How does this work?
Well, she's been doing it for a while, so she has like guys will just send her like treats in her like PO box all the time. People don't really send me anything.
Me neither.
I mean, I guess I don't really ask.
Also,
yeah, nobody sends me anything.
We gotta put it out there.
But I'm
we
just
gotta put it out there.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for photo shoots, I'm constantly buying lingerie and bikinis and stuff.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this one earlier. I like this.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this was a friend, we just did a werewolf movie together, but they were like, do you want to get together and just create some like sexy motorcycle content for our Instagram? I think it's called Smoke Show LA. So yeah, we were just doing that in the garage. It was really fun.
There was another one I was looking for. Oh, here's you with your gun.
Oh yeah. I love shooting guns.
Now, do you actually own these or?
No, this was in Texas where the creepy face that we saw where I had all the zombie makeup on. This was after that shoot. The family that owned the ranch that we stayed on, their son was our first camera op. And they were like, they loved me. I was actually ADing the film as well. And they were like, come back anytime you want. You can stay in our little log cabin. So the next weekend I actually went back to Texas and just like hung with the family. And like we like swam and shot guns. It was so much fun.
That's a perk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Yep, can't complain.
No, no complaints here.
Nope. All righty. So, well, anyway, beside when you with the stunt work, is it just basically what you had talked about, just the motorcycle stuff?
No, so that's how I got started. And then, you know, when you're on set, it's one of those things where people are like, oh, well, do you know how to throw a punch? Can you take a hit? And because of my size, like being a smaller girl, normally the roles that I'm doing are you're getting thrown around or tossed around. And so I learned how to, you know, get thrown on the ground and roll, or I learned how to do a stair fall. And you just kind of I started taking combat training classes and fighting for film classes and stuff. And yeah, just like developing that skill set. And that's what I love the most, especially there's a movie I did called Nation's Fire. And there's like a scene where the girl has to run up and jump on a moving car and she blasts a shotgun into like the driver and the passenger. And so I was her stunt double. So they're like, well, we only have one car. So you only get one shot at this. And so the adrenaline is like really going to go. And the way the gag is they actually shot a rubber bullet out at me to make the window explode because the camera guy was inside instead of me shooting in to them. And so I like run and I jump and they're like, the glass probably won't explode. It should just spider. Well, it fucking exploded all over me, you know, but you're like holding the shotgun, like the sawed off shotgun, like, yeah, or whatever. And they're like, oh, it looks great. Like, good job, whatever. And I was like, I was joking. I kind of looked like a meth head after that because I had all these little cuts of like glass on my face. Not like super crazy or anything.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know.
It wasn't the rubbery glass, the stuff, whatever that stuff is?
Yeah, it's like
whatever it is.
Not sugar glass. It wasn't that fancy of a shoot, but it was like regular car window glass, so it's not like the super sharp stuff. But yeah, there were some nicks and scratches. But that's the stuff that I love. I was like, that was awesome. Let's do it again.
What's the worst experience you've had?
It always is with water, really cold water.
I hate it already.
Photo shoots or on set, people don't think, they're just like, oh, we're just gonna get in the water. But like when you're shooting in the water, it's hours and it's always cold. It's never the right temperature. There's you're literally like getting hypothermia and they're like, couple more minutes. You're like, I might not make it. Always. This one shoot actually, it was supposed to be a heated pool. And again, things that you don't think about. Well, a heated pool takes 24 hours to heat up. So that morning they got there at 8, turned it on. And by 10, they're like, so you're just going to jump in. And I put my toe in. This is freezing. I go, I'll do it once, but I don't know if you're going to get a second take out of me. And I'm like, that's fine. Well, I dive in and my body just like freezes up.
Yep.
So they had to jump in and pull me out. And I was like shaking and I like went into shock and they had to like put me in this hot shower for 30 minutes. But
that's horrifying.
It was really bad. That was my least favorite moment. But yeah, so anytime I read like about a whatever, we're getting in the water and I'm always like, nope, pass. I don't want it.
Right. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Who, me? No, I was just saying, man, like I hate being cold, so I agree.
I hate it so much.
Yep. Hate it.
So where do you see yourself in like 5 years, 10 years? Like what are you working towards?
I would love to be a series regular on a show like New Girl as Cece, like the quirky best friend. Like I've learned over the years that I don't really love being the lead as much as I love being like the quirky person that comes in and says the funny line, like a Kate McKinnon or you know, somebody like that they get all the funny lines and they're the comic relief and like you always I don't know, they put a smile on your face. Like I love that kind of role. As opposed to like the main protagonist has to do a lot of the storytelling. And so you're just like giving a lot of information all the time. And yeah, I mean, that's fun too. But I just realized like, oh man, I'd rather be the best friend. Or I would love to be on an action show. Like I love Pamela Anderson and Barbed Wire.
My gosh, what a great what a great movie.
Oh my God. And when I first started doing all this, I didn't really have a love for like B horror movies or campy kitschy stuff. But now after doing so many of those movies, like they have a special place in my heart. So I've always said like, I don't know, my manager wanted to keep me away from that stuff and try to do like the more mainstream stuff because once you're labeled as one thing, it's really hard to do different genres. Yeah. But I'm like, if I can have a full life career in making like B horror films, then so be it. Like, I just want to be on set. I just love entertaining people and making movies. So in whatever capacity that means for me, like I'm down. So like I've recently started assistant directing and producing. I just helped associate produce this documentary called Women Behind Bars, and it's about female bartenders in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, so that was really fun. And I really love producing is really cool because you get to like put all the puzzle pieces together. Like I'm helping with casting and I'm calling bars and getting the locations booked. And I don't know. I just love creating the art.
Yeah.
That's fun. We should have some of the girls from that come make some drinks for us.
I bartend. I will make drinks for you.
That would be cool. Actually, going back to what you're saying, you actually kind of remind me like of like a Judy Greer type, you know?
Oh,
like
that's so flattering.
Yeah, it's because I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of remind me of that. She's like, you ever see 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner?
Yes.
Her best friend, frenemy, whatever.
Yes.
And then she's also been in like The Wedding Planner. She's been in everything.
Okay, yes.
I just watched a movie with her in it last night. One of the Marvel movies. Ant-Man?
Was she an Ant-Man?
Yeah. She was an Ant-Man.
Oh yeah. She's the mom.
Yeah.
The mom.
Wait, is she on a commercial for orange juice? Is that the same woman that I'm thinking of?
Ooh, maybe because she's also in Knocked Up, right?
I don't know.
I
Maybe
think she's in Knocked Up.
She always plays
I'll
like
look her
the
up.
quirky mom now.
Here, I'll show you.
Do you watch Schitt's Creek? The tone of your voice reminds me a little bit of Alexis.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could totally do an Alexis.
Yeah.
Alexis
Ew, David.
Ew.
Ew, David.
Love that for you.
Yes. Love that for you.
I feel like you could totally do an Alexis type character.
Yeah. When that got really popular, I got that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, because I got from a lot of people. They're like, "Hey, did you ever notice that you sound just like David when you talk?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." My parenting style is just basically how David speaks. Oh, okay. That's not who I was thinking.
There she is.
Now I don't know who the hell I'm thinking of. Okay, I know who that is, though. Yes, I totally see it.
Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff.
I would love to have her career.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's in a ton of movies.
Yeah.
Ton of movies. And I totally see the B movie thing too. You know, I can't remember. There's like 2 or 3 actresses that I can picture that were in all those movies. You know, God, I cannot remember their names, but
well, that's not a good sign. But
no, but because they don't really make B movies anymore like they used to. Like back then, they were like all like I grew up in the age of like drive-in movies, for example, and that's all you saw, you know. So they were like some of my favorite girls. I would like, kind of had wet dreams about some of them, you know. But but yeah, you're right. They were in so many movies, and they made a career out of it. You know, that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. So I work a lot right now with Full Moon Features. So there's actually a trilogy out right now called that's like the Barbie and Kendra series, and it's very like Romy and Michelle meet Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So these two girls just keep getting in trouble in the land of Corona Zombies is like the first one is what it's called. And so the Corona Zombie keeps like finding them. And yeah, you can find that on fullmoonfeatures.com, or they also
And you're one
have
of those two girls?
Yeah, I'm Barbie. And she's
that?
very
That's
good at
funny.
this. And yeah, they also, there's a Full Moon channel on Amazon Prime. But I mean, it's so fun, and it's like the sixth thing I've worked on with Full Moon Features, and they churn out content like crazy, and I actually have an audition for them that I have to do tomorrow. But yeah, they did like Puppet Master and like Revenge of the Evil Bong, like Ginger Dead Man. They did all those like crazy 90s really cool horror features.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, they're really
I'll
fun.
check it out.
That's great. Well, what do you got planned for the holidays? Are you gonna be?
So I volunteer with Essentia. They are a homeless resource center,
wow.
and they have 45 emergency sheltered guests at all times in like their main building in Glendale. And so I try to provide meals for 45 people like once every few weeks. And so I'll be doing that. Which I'm super stoked about. Yeah. That's like, if anyone's ever feeling sad or depressed, instead of like thinking about feeling sorry for yourself, if you could just like help somebody else, that's like the way to go. So I'll be doing that. And then, yeah, probably hanging out with some friends, doing some Friendsgiving stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Do you guys have plans?
I'll be with family.
Yeah, just family. What little that can come, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Same. Small group.
Yeah, we're about to in LA. We are on a 10 p.m. curfew right now, which is very weird.
Yeah, what's new? What's happening out there?
Oh my god! And
ours
then
have changed.
They just announced today that no more outdoor dining on Wednesday. So all restaurants shut down again for dining. You can only do delivery and.
It's on the way. So in Pittsburgh, I was just telling my friends earlier. So my daughter, I have an 8-year-old. As of this has been, I feel like COVID. Like the COVID emails that I get are like the Grim Reaper, though. They literally get closer and closer to me every day. So they're like, hey, there's a case at this one school. Now, and it like inches closer and closer to my door. So now they are full virtual until January 4th. So no, we were in a hybrid schedule. She was going to school Mondays and Thursdays. So full virtual. Then her daycare, where she did her hybrid school, she would like take her Chromebook with her. They can't do any hybrid school because their staff is limited. Now they're limited to something else. Els can still go. By some miracle, she like fits all the little tiny requirements. And then I was like, well, okay, so I'm just going to go to the gym and like get in the best shape of my life. And then my gym literally emailed me today and they're like, hey, so no childcare. I was like, son of a bitch. So I don't know what else is going to happen now, but I'm waiting for basically everything to close in Pittsburgh and me just play video games.
At least you have a gym, though. We haven't had gym since March. And
really?
I just got an email that LA Fitness, which I've been paying into for 6 months, mind you, because there was no way to cancel it.
Cool.
They just filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know how gyms are going to make it here. I mean, I don't know how is going to make it here, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. And you're smack dab in one of the worst states right now. You know, California.
Super strict. Are you? And then Tony, are you in Chicago?
No. I'm actually in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm like way down.
So what's
south.
happening there? What's changing? Anything?
No, like I feel like we're in a lucky spot because I know the rest of Texas is really getting bad again.
Yeah.
But here, like we're only like there was a point where when this first started back in March, April, we'd have maybe 3 to 6 confirmed reports a day, you know, because the news would and I'm like, man, I think we're missing, you know, we're really lucky. And then all of a sudden in the summer it went up to like a couple dozen, and then suddenly next thing you know it's like 400 or 500 in a day, and I'm like, holy shit. And now it's back down to more manageable, like maybe it's like a dozen or 2 dozen a day again. So we're still lucky, and my kids, fortunately, we still have daycare. Yeah, no, compared to everywhere else. Yeah. But at the same time, they just initiated restrictions again to go back down to 50% for like the restaurants and whatnot.
We never even left that.
Yeah, no, we got out of that for a little bit, up to 75%. And then, but now it's dropped down again. I can see it coming. it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yep.
You know.
Have you been to Farrah's in Corpus Christi?
Oh yeah, I know Ferris. You could be somebody that worked at Ferris.
Yeah. Oh, I've worked that stripper pole before.
Have you really?
What?
Yeah.
Is this
When
a
I was
club down there?
when I was filming there, we were staying at the little like place you could walk right to
Yeah,
Farrah's.
there's a little condo area thing.
Yeah, so that was my little like home base bar. I had so much fun at that bar.
Oh my god. Our paths almost crossed.
Almost.
Almost. That's crazy. Ferris is like this island bar. It's like a little hole in the wall place. But it's been there forever. And like the military guys, that's their spot, you know. And
it's got a stripper pole in it. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. They had some hot bartenders there. That's one thing.
And cheap drinks.
And cheap drinks. Yeah. That's why the military guys liked it. For those two reasons.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But it's still there. I haven't been out there in forever since God, I can't even remember last time. It's been years. It's been years easily. So I don't even know how they're doing, if they're still open or not. But it was crazy. I do remember at one of the hurricanes, it got hit pretty hard, but they came back. You know, so yeah, that's funny that you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I could so easily see you being a bartender there. You're like the Ferris type.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. So, but anyway, it's been really fun talking with you, and we thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to follow up with you again because you've got so much stuff coming up that I definitely want to follow up with you and say, hey, how'd it go? You know, so
Yes.
I would love that. Once Girl Lost comes out and then the Playboy Australia comes out, we got to do that again. Flash all the Playboy photos, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
please.
Yeah, if you ever have anything coming up that maybe we can just join you like behind the scenes kind of thing, we'll just do that. You know, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yay.
All right. So anyway, guys, Cody's Instagram is in our caption, so be sure to follow her and make sure to look for her movies coming out. Girl Lost and everything else she's been in. What was the name of the Aaron Paul movie?
El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie.
Okay, that's right. That's right. So we will see you again for sure.
Yes.
And I want to thank my co-host Jamie, as always. We actually got to keep her this time.
Yes.
That
So
audio.
so far, so good.
Having me.
Yes, thank you. So you guys, thank you. Make sure to like and follow, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see Cody again. And thanks for watching.